Tonight, at a special time, 8:30, 7:30 Central and Mountain.
Well, this is not a boat accident.
It's finally coming.
It was a shark.
The most powerful movie of all time.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Tonight, after more, get ready for Jaws.
JAWGUST. 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 JAWGUST, 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 JAWGUST.
JAWGUST, it is JAWGUST, where I will be watching Jaws each day. Podcast, got a podcast, but I'm not quite sure what I will say. The choice of this time I give you pause, 'cause it has nothing to do with Jaws. JAWGUST, it is JAWGUST, where every day I will watch Jaws and talk about Jaws. It helps if you like Jaws. Watch any good movies today, anybody? Welcome to day 22 of JAWGUST, where today I watched Jaws for the 22nd day in a row. And guess what? I have new notes. Some of them I stole from my friend Chris. First of all, before we get any further into this episode, there's been another JAWGUST birthday. The happiest 58th birthday to Mr. Jeffrey Voorhees, who you know as young Alex Kintner. A boy whose life is valued at $3,000. Now, yes, Jeffrey Voorhees is now 58 years old, but young Alex, he will always be remembered as just a 13-year-old boy who was devoured. And if you want to see something really freaky, just look up Jeffrey Voorhees' original death. You'll see a still image from, I think it's the documentary, The Shark is Still Working. And there was also, I saw on YouTube, someone cut in a bit of a scene that was filmed by second unit director Joe Alves. And it shows the shark coming out of the water like huge and frightening and like completely, it's like in the article, I think the article was from Bloody Disgusting. I think it said the stuff of nightmares, and it is nightmare inducing looking at that. Like that thought in my head of this shark reaching out like it's and going to clamp down on the boy. It's frightening, but I wonder if it would have worked if it worked. I think they said it was too gruesome, but I just wonder how it would have played. I don't know, compared to what we have now. Because I mean, it's hindsight, you know, what we have now is so perfect. Did we need more? I don't know, because we didn't have more. But I wanted to, that's my way of saying happy birthday, Jeffrey Voorhees. All right. Let's go looking through some of my notes now. The first one I wanted to mention is, Eric, you were right. Where the hell did that crab come from? So where we see Chrissy's arm and like Brody and the young guy are just getting to her remains, a crab is dropped in. So it makes me think that was supposed to not be filmed, and they were placing crabs in that scene so they could have crabs there, and some sort of producer, animal person, someone on set, production assistant, dropped in a crab, and it was actually in that scene that it was used. And somehow Vernon Fields wins an Oscar for best editing. What the hell? I wrote down, I love the first confused look Chrissy gives in the water after the start of the attack. You know, she's floating along. She's like, I've met myself a young stud. I'm going to swim with him. Come in the water. And he's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, we're ready for like, we see it coming. Here it comes. And she goes, you know, boom, she gets pulled. And it's just this look of like, what the hell is going on? Before the terror even sets in, it's more like confusion. And I just wanted to mention that. I thought that was pretty cool. Look, as a lifelong New Englander, I don't think I didn't have a problem with Brody's accent. I thought it was pretty good. It's a little stereotypical, but there are definitely people that sound like that. And the fact that I said New Englander shows that I'm trying my best to enunciate. Where if I was just talking to you, I'd probably say New Englander. Do I say New Englander? As a lifelong New Englander, yeah, I probably would. I think I wouldn't talk like the way I talk now and say New Englander. So I thought that Brody's accent sounded pretty good. Pretty good. These next two I can't take credit for. They're from Mr. Christopher Morris, recent guest on JAWGUST. And he wrote, by the way, I forgot to bring up on the pod, you haven't mentioned the fact that when Hooper came up from under the water, he should have been like, holy shit, what the F just happened? Think about it. Brody shoots the shark. The shark explodes. There is shark everywhere. It's disgusting. And Hooper's under the water, seeing all this, seeing the exploded shark come down in the water, and he comes up and he's like, hey, how's it going? Quint? Yeah, okay, come on. And they're laughing, haha. I didn't like the water. I can't imagine why. Instead, he should have been like, what the hell is going on here? Another thing that I don't know if I missed writing this down. I feel like I talked about this with him. But he also didn't like freak out. Like when he came, now, okay, I'll give him, because he might have been a little shocked. But when he came up from the Ben Gardner, you know, he just looked at Brody like, oh, man. And what did he say right after? Oh, man. Oh, Ben's dead. He's down there. A fish ate his eye. We should probably have that towed in. So the other thing that Chris mentioned, he got this from the Carl Gottlieb's, I think it's the Jaws log, or maybe it's his book, his recent book. It says read it in the Gottlieb book last year. So, maybe he read it then, but okay. The tiger shark in the movie, they did get a real shark. It was shipped up from Florida, and I almost said Florida. And I guess it took forever to get it shipped up there, and it was dead, and it was rotting by the time they got to film it. And Chris mentioned, you know, I got to look to see if they made faces. Anybody made any like stink faces because of the odor, especially the kids that were around there. And I forgot to look today. So I'm going to look tomorrow or one of these days. But yeah, I think that's cool. It explains probably why all the teeth are gone from the shark. They rotted out. It's a little gross, and I don't think I don't think they could do something like that today. Even if they wanted to. I don't know if like the MPAA or PETA or anything like that would allow that to happen. Nor should they, really. But it wasn't like they killed the shark. I noticed a couple things in the town hall there. Right after that woman, she's like, I don't even know if there's a shark. I can't talk to you. And, they're walking down the hall, and Brody's talking to Ben, the newspaper Ben, about the ad. And he's like, I've got to talk to Mrs. Kittner. Well, I don't think Brody ever did that. I'm going to guess no, because the next time Mrs. Kittner saw Brody, she slapped him upside the face. Another thing I noticed was that that woman, when they're walking down the hall, she says, Marty, do something about this. Nobody calls him Marty except her. I feel like she does it twice. I thought she said something. She mentioned Marty, I think, at the beach, I think. And she says it there. And you see it. She's to me, she sounds like someone who's like, look, Marty, we're friends. I can call you that because we're close. You'll do this for me because we're close. I will talk to you and I will let other people know how close we are. And I can speak to you this way and you'll do things for me because I'm special, because we're close. That's how she sounds. I did notice her, this is today for the first time, her and her husband, right when Alex Kittner, the Alex Kittner scene happens and Mrs. Kittner's, looking around, just kind of stumbling around, not knowing where her son was because she wasn't paying attention. You see them looking off into the water, trying to see the shark. And the husband puts his hands over his eyes to block the sun, like he's trying to get a really good look because, I don't know, he's a creep. I'm like, what the hell? What do you look? Or he's just, I don't know. I just noticed it for the first time. I don't know why he did it. I wanted to note that when they come back, when Hooper and Brody come back from from looking at the remains and they see the tiger shark, Brody is all excited and Hooper right away is skeptical. You could just see he doesn't smile. You could just see he's like, something doesn't seem right. Like he looks at it, and then he gets right in there and starts measuring right away. He's like, something's not right with this. So I thought, I just wanted to mention that right away, Hooper was like, yeah, this isn't the shark. I like to think that Jaws started the mass fascination with sharks. And I'm sure it did, but I thought maybe sharks weren't even part of popular culture before Jaws. I could be wrong, I was born in the 70s, so before that, I just don't know a lot of shark-related things. The movie came out in 75. The book came out in 74. And the fact that the movie was being filmed in 74 and the book coming out, they were ready for this, to make this into a movie right away. But my point is, in the movie, there is a scene where Brody it's on 4th of July and he's starting to walk on the beach, where the crowd are all there for the holiday. And we see a guy playing a arcade game called Killer Shark. Now, the interesting thing about this, when I saw this, I thought, well, they made a video game about sharks before Jaws. And they did. It actually was made by Sega, and it came out in 1972. 3 years before Jaws came out, 2 years before the book even came out. So sharks were some sort of popular cultural interest, BJ, before Jaws. I'm going to have to rethink that acronym. But you understand what I mean. So I've been listening to that for 22 days, and that, well, they're in New England. So if you were listening to a radio broadcast of a baseball game in that area, you'd probably be listening to the Red Sox. And that didn't sound like any Red Sox announcer that I'd known. And so I was like, well, let me see what team that was, what game that was. Maybe they just got a clip from somewhere. So I looked up the name Jerry Christian Baseball. And that led me to this Reddit post from 7 years ago that was actually also put on a blog that I don't think is in use anymore. It's letsgosox.blogspot.com. They posted that in 2008, but I'm going to read the Reddit post. The user is Let's Get Ramblin'. So I just wanted to give him credit. There's a beach scene in Jaws with the sounds of a baseball game coming from the radio. It's clearly a fake broadcast as opposed to audio from an actual game. The player's name most clearly heard is Jerry Christian. A search on Christian shows that he was the sound effects editor on Spielberg's Duel, and his obituary from earlier that year, rest in peace, says he also worked on Jaws. And there's a pitcher named Stacy. Here is, then they have a link to the sound department for Duel, and there's a John Stacy. Back in the broadcast, it says we've got Troutman tagging from third and scoring. Checking on the Duel list, James Troutman is also someone who worked on Duel. The last name I can make out is Vance Frederick. That one doesn't check out, but there is a Vance Frederick on IMDb. He worked on model construction, so it's possible that, but basically the reason I'm bringing this up is that's not a real post at all. It is, not a real radio thing at all. It is something they created, Easter eggs, the sound people putting names in of people they know, people they work with in the clip. And it's such a minuscule clip, like it's barely registers. You're not even paying attention to that. You're paying attention to Mayor Murray walking through the beach, wondering why people aren't going swimming, because he's waiting for it to absorb. But I just wanted to mention that and to kind of list credit where I heard it from. But that, I just thought that was really cool. And now I know that it's not a real game at all. It had that, like, it almost sounded like Kurt Gowdy, like a Kurt Gowdy impressionist. Is how that's, I don't know if I'm right with the name or not, but it sounded like a famous baseball announcer. And I just wanted to mention that, and that's really the last note I wanted to talk about from today. I got a very special email today from Google Play Books with a $4 credit for an ebook. So I took that $4 credit and I bought Jaws. So I had the paperback years ago. I remember it just getting destroyed from me reading it in the pool, which probably not the smartest idea for mental health reasons. But now I have it on an ebook, a Google book, so it's on my little tablet. It's on my phone, and I have it forever. But guess what? That's not the only email I got today. Hello, Mikey. It's David here from Scotland. Don't know if you remember, but I messaged when you were watching Mad Men. Your podcast was very entertaining throughout the rewatch. Yes, David, I remember. Thank you so much for watching all that Mad Men. That was so much fun doing that. And thank you for coming over here and watching this. I appreciate it. And I'm not going to try to do a Scottish accent. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try my best not to do that. Okay, anyway, back to the email. Anyway, just thought I'd message about my Jaws experience if you're interested. Yes, I am. Although I should first say, are you crazy, like really crazy for watching Jaws every day for a month? Haha. Yes, I am. I don't think I'd be able to do that, but I commend you for picking a Spielberg and a great Spielberg. I think we're about the same age. I was born in 75. I was born in 76. So my first encounter with Jaws was around about the age of 8 or 9 on TV. My dad, who passed away in 1989, sorry to hear that, would always watch films with me on TV. And my mom I love mum, M-U-M. I want to say it with an accent, but I'm not going to do it. And my mom took me to the cinema as a kid, and E.T. Would have been one of the first I remember seeing at the cinema. Same with me. Except here in the States, we call it the movies. I remember my dad introducing me to Sleeper and Bananas as kids, and so Woody Allen and Spielberg were ever present in my childhood. Wow, that's like you're getting introduced to like classics early on. I was not introduced to that. I was introduced to DC Cab and Police Academy, and that's because my dad was also taking the two VCRs and using them to record over the nudity. Thanks, Dad. But I digress. Back to the letter. I have a vague memory of it being Christmas time, and my mom, dad, and me were watching Jaws. I remember loving it. I just listened to your podcast when you mentioned feeling sorry for the shark. Well, as a kid, I felt sorry for the shark too. See? I'm not alone. Plus, I loved the blood spurting out of Quint. Yes, I thought it was cool. Okay, I was a weird kid. Same as me. After watching it, I also remember inventing a game called Jaws. It's a very simple game in which the living room couch was my boat, the carpet was the sea, I had a toy sword for my weapon, and I pretended I was being attacked by Jaws. To tell you the truth, I didn't win many of my duels against Jaws. I always would lose an arm, but life is tough on the high seas. That is hilarious. When I got a video recorder at age about 10, and it was a Betamax, which in my opinion was far superior to VHS, which I have heard that, I recorded it the next time it came on TV. I also recorded Jaws 2, which I haven't watched since I was a kid. Good choice. And I can't remember anything about it. I think there was a shark and there was a Scheider. That's all I remember. Speed forward to my mid-teens, and from this point, my time with Jaws diverges as RoboCop took over. Dead or alive, you're coming with me. The next time I saw it, it was with my friends and my cousins/bandmates. That sounds cool. Aged about 21 at the cinema. I love the at the cinema. That sounds so much. I like when people say at the cinema and they go to university. At the cinema in a special screening, but it didn't grab me as much. Jaws and I then departed until I was about 36 or 37 when my cousin gave me a copy on DVD he had upgraded to Blu-ray. Cool. I rewatched it on DVD and completely fell in love with it again. This time around, I noticed how great the cinematography is. Yes, I could spend many, many hours talking about the cinematography on Spielberg films. One of my absolute favorite moments is when Martin is shoveling the bits of meat into the water and the shark just appears, and the camera quickly focuses in on the look of horror on Martin's face. The way Spielberg times that scene is completely genius, and the zoom-in technique to Martin's face is genius. Often I think of Spielberg and I think about how great he times set pieces to absolute perfection combined with how he frames each shot. I could compare it to the scene in The Last Crusade when Indiana is being chased by the Germans on motorcycles, which is a great scene, but it leads to Indian Dad stealing the car, driving down the road, the German plane dive bombs with the bomb exploding in the front of the car, and the car going straight into the crater. Absolute action set piece genius. I need to rewatch that movie. Henry! What does he say? Follow me, I know the way! The last time I watched Jaws was last Halloween with my mom. We did a double bill with Jurassic Park. Now that's some great Spielberg right there. Now speed forward to today. And I have a nice big Sony 4K TV. Ah, man, I'm jealous. And guess what arrived through my letterbox 2 days ago? You guessed it. It's National Lampoon's No, you're right. It's Jaws in 4K. So tonight or tomorrow, I'll watch Jaws in 4K in all its glorious detail. Okay, this is Mike again breaking in. That's awesome to hear. I watched Jaws today too. So now you're going to watch it, and you're going to appreciate it even more. I promise you. Okay, back to the letter. My purchase of Jaws was independent of you doing this podcast. Well, if I thought I had that much influence, oh my goodness. I had meant to buy it when it came out in July, but other spending got in the way, so I delayed it until this month. If I have any further thoughts about my latest rewatch, I'll pass them along in case you're desperate for anything for your podcast. Yes, I am. So please continue to send stuff. It's wonderful. But you don't have to. You'd have to be pretty desperate to read out any of my ramblings. Welcome to the show, David. On a side note, E.T. is probably my favorite early Spielberg movie, but Jaws is a very close second. E.T. is, to me, another just perfect movie that just encompasses, this is me talking now, encompasses my childhood and just gives me this, like, I don't know, this nostalgic feel that few movies can do. Back to the letter. I'm a bit behind in the podcast, only on to day 8 of JAWGUST. Good luck with the remaining days, David. Well, David, that's a wonderful letter, and I dedicate this special song to you. I'm just kidding. There's no song. But that was awesome, and I checked with him. I said, you mind if I read this? Because I'm reading it, and I read the whole thing. So thank you so much, David. That is really awesome to hear, and I feel like I never got away from Jaws, but I never appreciated it as much. That's what I feel like I'm doing now. Like I remember loving, enjoying it as a kid, loving it in my teens, seeing it in my 20s and really loving it. And then it would be on, I'll watch a few minutes here, watch a few minutes there. You text quotes to friends and stuff like that. But it wasn't until this JAWGUST, that I really, really fell in love with it in a whole new way. And I think when you start watching it on your Blu-ray, your 4K, that you will be watching it. You will be loving it more and more so. And hopefully you'll watch it 31 days in a row, just like me. Maybe I should have led with that email. Anyway, David, thank you again so much for that email. I really appreciate it. And if you would like to send in your Jaws memories, there's still time. You can email me at geekmentality@fansnotexperts.com. Or you could tweet me at geekmentality. You could message me on Instagram at geekmentality. You can go to the website, fansnotexperts.com, or you can go to our Facebook page, which is just Fans Not Experts. And you could be awesome like David. Or if you don't want to be awesome like David and don't send me an email, fine. As long as you listen every day. Listen to me ramble. Listen to me talk about Jaws. Listen to me repeat myself multiple times. And every day, listen to me say these closing words. Here is my theme song. This is my podcast, I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe. Cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time. And I'm kinda handsome, my mom says. Please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode. Fans Not Experts.